Let me talk about some of the other things they say about your game, i.e. the number of assists.
They're not that high, but I mean,
Yeah.
you know, I've got 66 goals so far, and it's you know, it's tough to get assists when you're scoring that often. I think it's, you know, we're not a very offensive team, but you know, I'm more of a scorer than a playmaker, that's for sure.
But this is the first year you come into your own as a scorer, in a sense.
Well, that's true. In this magnitude, yes.
Yeah.
Usually it's been, you know, my first year I had just as many assists as goals, and last year I had a few more assists and goals, and I've never scored to this
So you get the goals up this year, and next year you'll bring the assist up.
I hope so.
Yeah. Do you work on that aspect of your game?
You know, I really do. You know, people are noted for me as being a shooter, but I like to be a passer, and I like to make the plays, and, you know, I work on that a lot. The coaches always yell at me in practice for not shooting, but, you know, I like to work on my passing.
Yeah. Now, what about the guy from, who was it, Cliff Fletcher, the Calgary Flames general manager, who said that Brett Hull is a loafer?
Well, I think that's my personality. I don't think I'm a loafer, and I got a bad rap there where they thought I was loafing on the ice, when it's really my personality and my laid-back attitude that makes it look that way. You know, I'm not a very intense person away from the ice, but, you know, on the ice I'm very intense.
Laziness is not something you would attribute as a quality.
No, I'm basically a lazy person. I've said that, but you know, when it comes to playing, I'm not. You know, I'd rather you know, the day off or after the game, I'll go home and I'll sit on the couch and watch TV. And unless you can get me out on the golf course, I'm not going to move.
That was my next question.
Yeah.
What's the second most favorite sport for you?
It's golf.
Is it golf?
Golfer, I play fast pitch softball in the summertime, and you know, it's just so relaxing. You know, and it's really.
But there's no transference of skills there between hockey and golf, is there?
Well,
and for example, you might assume that there is between hitting in baseball and swinging a golf club, but in hockey, is there transference of skill between?
No, I think if you try to hit the golf ball like you swing a hockey stick, you're not going to play very good golf. But
hand-eye coordination might be something.
Definitely.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
But it's just go out in the summertime and relax. There's nothing better.
Than to play golf.
Than to play golf.
Yeah. Is the relationship with your dad today good?
Oh, it never was bad. You know, there was never any love lost at all. It was more of a distance thing. I was out after divorce, moved with my mother to Vancouver, and he was away on the East Coast in Toronto. So it was just a matter of miles more than anything.
Yeah. Why is it that Canadians dominate this game?
Well, I think you know, they say lacrosse is a national sport, but it's hockey, and you're born in Canada, you're raised on hockey, and you play it, and whereas in the States it's baseball, it's basketball, it's football, and hockey's so regionalized more in the Northeast and the Northwest. So I just think that the number of players that get a chance to play and develop is so much greater.
Are the fans different?
I don't think so. You know, the fans in Chicago are fantastic. The fans in St. Louis are fantastic. But I just think the majority of fans in Canada are just a slight bit more knowledgeable about the game.
More knowledgeable about the game, yeah. Back to the notion about your own game. I mean, when you think about who's the most complete player to play the game?
Oh, I think
both in terms of scoring, defense.
Mark Messier of the Edmonton Oilers. He plays great offensive. He's got over 120 points right now. He's a plus player in his own end, and he's very physical, and he's a team leader. He's my favorite player to watch and to emulate.
How old is he?
He's 26 or 27 years old. He's got 4 Stanley Cups, and he got a chance to play with Wayne, which, you know, I'm very envious of that.
Yeah, just to play with him. Yeah. Have you ever skated with him?
Well, during the All-Star game, the last 2 years, I've had a chance to play with him. I wish I could play a little bit more on his line, but maybe that'll come later.
Talk about your game as a defenseman.
Well, I tell you, it was not existent until this year, and, you know, our coaching staff came up to me at the end of last year, and they said, we expect so much more from you. And I went home in the summer, and I thought, you know, they've got a lot of respect to come up and say that to me and expect me to change. And I came with a new attitude where I was taught that, you know, the more you work in your own end this year, the more offensive chances you're going to get. And it's true, and I never thought of it that way.
Do you have an advantage in, I mean, because of the Hall name, in the end, I would think you'd think it an advantage, notwithstanding the expectation that comes with it?
I don't think it's an advantage or disadvantage either way. You know, I grew up having to do so many things that other kids just dream of doing. It was a privilege to be who I was. And growing up, you know, kids can be cruel, but, you know...
What would they say? Do you remember how they...
Well, you know, you're awful, and your father was awful, and, you know, just things like that. And I have the personality where it just didn't bother me, you know, and I think that helped me a lot growing up and becoming a National Hockey League player.
Fans, you feel the same way your dad did about the fans, though. I mean, I think you said a wonderful thing. I think this was you, because your dad had a reputation for being very much of a fans player, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and I think you said at one point, anybody who doesn't serve the fans ought not play this game.
Well, that's true. They're the ones who pay your salary. They're the ones that build you up on a pedestal above everyone into an expectation that is unbelievable. And those are the people that you should be admiring as well. And I appreciate the fans. And, you know, like I did say, if you don't respect them and if you don't sign to stop an autograph, you know, as long as they're not persistently and pestering, you know, they're great people.
Does it work? Do you think about keeping the level of performance that you are playing this year, being able to keep it up?
It is scary. I think about that all the time, and I just, you know, as long as the people that I play with are here and the opportunities are here and I stay at the level that I am, I think I can stay, maybe not at this extreme level, but keep it on a very consistent basis.
And you can't really understand, other than the fact that your team, it clicks into place at a particular time. I mean, do you know why you're playing at the level you are? Other than the fact you've got the gifts, you've got the team.
I think it's just the time. You know, there's people with the skill to play the game, and I'm a scorer, and I think I have a natural ability to score goals, and I think it's just come to a point where I've reached maturity in that, and I've learned how to do it.
Yeah, it's terrific to have you here.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure to be here.
Brett Hull. Night Watch continues. Back in a moment.